How can you love your narcissist when you're not getting anything from them in return? How can you love your narcissist when you're getting even abused in return? How can you sit there and adore this person while they are draining you in return? So the answer to that is nobody can drain you unless you allow it to be draining, unless you allow the reaction you have to them and what they are doing to be draining. They are abusing you. Are they abusing you, or is your reaction to what they are doing hurting you because you're choosing a perspective that hurts, that makes it hurtful? So, how is it on us when they're calling us this and that and the other, or they're saying, you know, well, if it wasn't for your daddy abandoning you, then you'd know how to, I'm going straight, then you know how to communicate with me better, because he would have taught you, for example. It can be whatever thing that you shared with them, that your mommy wasn't there for you, your daddy wasn't there for you, this person abused you, that person abused you, and now they're using that, they're calling you on that as a reason why you suck. And then how do you hear that from them and not get hurt by that? How is that not an excuse for you to be hurting and blame them for that hurt? And how you do that is you own it. How you say, you know, they say you're not good at X, Y, and Z because your daddy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, that's true. That is true. I'm not good at that because of X, Y, and Z. And maybe you are good at it, right? But you're like, I know, right? Like, that sucks. Didn't have a daddy that X, Y, and Z. So now I don't know how to ABC. But you choose to be with me anyways. Thanks for loving me, despite my discrepancies. And it's just something I'm not gonna be good at. Are you okay with that? Is that gonna be okay with you? You know, I'll try to do better and better. But it's just what it is. So they're calling you on stuff that's true. Most likely it is true. That's why it's hurting us. That's why else would it hurt if it wasn't true? Like, if it's not true, then that's your reason not to allow it to hurt you. And maybe they're doing it intentionally to hurt you, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're just legitimately pointing out something they think is valid for you to look at and consider, because they feel like if they would point it out, that then that would help you work on improving that if it's pointed out to you. So in the event it's not true, then you should be like, okay, I'll consider that. I'm trying my best. Thanks for pointing it out. You know, you could try to argue with them, but then that's going to turn into an escalated thing, because they already decided they're right and they know stuff, and they're narcissists. So you don't argue with a narcissist. It's futile. You're going to be in a yelling match pretty soon. They don't back down. They don't concede. That's their weakness. So, you knowing that, why would you get yourself into a debate about not true stuff, trying to convince somebody that already decided it's true? I mean, I guess you could try to just briefly, one comment, be like, you know, I just really don't feel like that's valid. I've really worked hard on myself, and I feel like I communicate with you very well, and maybe something else apply. That particular thing doesn't seem to apply. You could express that calmly and kindly if you're able to do it that way. But if you're not, then it's not worth it. If it's going to get you into a yelling match, or if you're all emotional and upset, then it's not worth it, because now you're all riled up, and then you're going to get them riled up, and then the whole thing is going to be a nightmare that's not productive or useful. And we don't want to waste our time on not productive and useful. You're not going to convince them. You're just going to get yourself all emotional. So, that person parked in the wrong spot. I almost did that the other day. So, that's how you have to approach those situations, you know, like when they're trying to call you on stuff that's mean and true. You can either just ignore it and say nothing, or you can just own it. Just be like, yeah, so that's what it is. You want to be with me? You still want to be with me, even though I have that deficiency? Because I may or may not change. Like, that is who I am, you know? So I guess you have decisions to make.
Mommy.
If you can't own it without getting emotional, then you can just say nothing. Say nothing. But wasting your energy on getting all emotional is ultimately going to really damage you and damage them and damage the situation, and then maybe give them supply that you don't want coming from that particular area, right? Because if they get supply off of hurting you, then that's not the kind of supply you want to give them, right? You want to give them love and tender kindness and sweetness and care. And you doing that long enough, even though they would normally get the opposite kind of supply, they do actually, just like from my personal experience, start to like that, because that is ultimately what they want. And that over a long period of time, unconditionally, does start to shift them and make them more endearing and more endeared to you. So that would be lesson number what? Is it 9? Is it 10? I have no idea. But you can love them without expecting them to do what you do for them back, because you don't do what you do to get it back. You do what you do because you love them. And so if you're doing something for somebody, in particular a narcissist, because you're expecting to get it back, you're in trouble, because you ain't getting that back from them. Not that easy. With the narcissist, you have to earn it, because what they are is really broken and hurt. And will you ever be able to? We don't really know. People are saying that narcissists can't heal, right? I feel like you can. I feel like I have actually done that with at least a couple of different narcissists, but it took a long years of consistently me focusing on joy, kindness, and love, and never anything other than that. And it was my job. I couldn't be like, well, you blah, blah, blah. Nope. I maintained clarity that it was my job. I took the job on, the responsibility on to myself, for myself, and expected them to do nothing other than what they do. No change from them. It was all on me. And I was able to do that because I don't get my emotions all involved. I don't take the stuff they say and do to heart or personal, because it's actually not. They do it to everybody. So it's not personal to you specifically. It's what they do to everybody and anyone they're with. So, and maybe they do it to some more than others. I don't know. But we can just assume that they do it to everybody. And so that's how you can love your narcissist without them loving you back in the same way. Please and thank you.